The political landscape in Palestine is entering a critical new phase, with Hamas' latest position on Gaza raising major questions about the future governance of the territory and the wider Palestinian political system. At the same time, attention is turning to Fatah's role in the possible leadership of Marwan Barghouti, reconciliation between Palestinian factions, and the possibility of reviving the spirit of the Mecca Agreement. Joining us on Asiaonenews is Ahmed Fattouh, spokesperson for the Fatah movement, to discuss the changing political landscape and Fatah's next step for the Palestinian cause. Mr. Ahmed Fattouh, thank you so much for being with us on Asia One. Now, Hamas' decision to dissolve the government in Gaza could significantly change the Palestinian political equation. How does Fatah interpret this move, and what role does Fatah believe Hamas should or could play in Gaza's future?
We hope that this move is going to reconcile and recorrect the wrong that Hamas started in 2007 when it made its coup, and to bring Gaza back to the Palestinian national unity, to the Palestinian official and legitimate authority, and to the PLO. We look forward that Hamas is serious this time, and it is really sincere after their 20 years of forcefully seizing the Gaza Strip, leading our people to catastrophic political decisions and wars that did not benefit our national cause for liberation, nor benefited our people in Gaza Strip, that led us today to this catastrophe of the genocide after October 7. So we look forward that Hamas this time has become more mature, has become more serious about the issues and the schemes of the occupation, and with thinking clearly about actually bringing back Gaza to the Palestinian house and to form a national agenda, a national political program on how we could face this occupation further in wisdom and in unity. So we truly think that this is, as an initial step, it's accepted, but we will look forward for further steps to see it on the ground and to see that grip of power of Hamas removed, and for the Palestinian national authority to go back to Gaza Strip in order to cripple all Israeli plans to separate Gaza from the West Bank, because we have to be very careful here that Israel aims on separating the Palestinian geography and dividing the Palestinian into Bantustans, where they could easily occupy and colonize to achieve their apartheid scheme and ethnically cleansing the Palestinian from their indigenous lands. Regarding the participation of Hamas, the second part of your question, we have stated clearly that for any Palestinian party who wish to join the elections must adhere to the Palestinian Liberation Organization PLO program and to accept its past agreements. We refuse any political party, whether Hamas or not, who is affiliated to external agendas, because that's refused, and we have seen it, this catastrophic effect on the ground. But Hamas also signed with the Americans and Kushner that they will not participate in any future governance of Gaza. So they have also that obligation they need to think of. So that is the situation as a whole. The elections is coming in November. Hopefully, if all things goes through and we are allowed to vote in Gaza and West Bank and Jerusalem and to practice our democracy, we are willing to head forward for a Palestinian government that is united and strong to face the genocide we are suffering right now.
Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Fattouh, now the 2007 Mecca Agreement attempted to end the Fatah-Hamas divide, but ultimately failed to deliver lasting reconciliation. Now, could the current circumstances maybe create an opportunity for a new Mecca-style agreement between the Palestinian factions?
At the time, after the Mecca Agreement, Hamas violated that agreement by initiating their military coup and killing 700 Palestinians, seizing Gaza forcibly and taking power out of legitimacy. They also did that again after Mecca. We had several agreements with Hamas for reconciliation and unity, but they also violated them. I remember the Cairo Agreement in 2018, when Hamas planted a bomb in the roadway for the Palestinian Authority convoy at the time, which was the Prime Minister and the Chief of Intelligence, crippling that agreement and destroying all possible pathway to find unity. So the common element between all these agreements and the common element of failure is Hamas mentality of refusing to partner with other Palestinian factions, refusing the democratic way, and refusing to work within a Palestinian agenda is the main issue for any reconciliation in the past. And we hope that this time they have grown more mature, more wiser, to think closely and carefully about what their political decisions has made. They made the catastrophic situation in Palestine as a whole. The Israeli far right has always used Hamas to push forward its colonial agenda. They used Hamas in the 90s to cripple Oslo. At the time, Yasser Arafat was leading the establishment of the Palestinian state. Hamas started bombing in Israel, which the right used very keenly to cripple all the peace talks at that time and made Netanyahu to go in power. So this unholy secret alliance between Netanyahu and the far right of Palestine, Hamas, need to be addressed and need to be dismantled. We have to work for a Palestinian agenda and to think carefully how our enemies are thinking to work against it, because we cannot continue in the same cycle of unilateral decisions by Palestinian factions, leading us into catastrophic results. So we look forward that after the elections, that will be the strongest form of unity. It's the ballot box. When we do the elections, and we will make also the elections of the PLO, the Palestinian National Council, which is the parliament of all the Palestinian people all around the world, the parliament of PLO, and that is the legitimate body for the Palestinians to rule themselves and to devise the political program which we to liberate and establish the Palestinian state. If we work in this democratic way, not the way that Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood think, no, but the way of democracy, the way of taking decisions and forming a political program under the dome of the parliament, then we could move forward.
So, Mr. Fattouh, you spoke about the far-right government, the Israeli far-right government. Now, what plan does Fatah have to deal with this far-right government and also with the violence of the settlers in the West Bank?
Well, unfortunately, we're facing, a mad Israeli far-right fascist government that does not respect any human being, does not respect international law, does not respect human rights. So what we rely on is on the world conscience, that the world would eventually hold Israel accountable for their crimes against humanity. It cannot be possible for the 2026 that a country that committed a genocide to go out of this without any sort of accountability. That would be the destruction of our rule-based system, to our basic morals and our basic modern political international system. So we are rallying our friends, our partners in the region, the Arab world, the Muslim world, on the European world and the Western world, to pressure Israel through the political means in the international arena, to respect the UN laws, the UN resolutions and the past agreements, and to retreat from the West Bank and from Gaza. We will adopt the popular peaceful resistance as we has declared in 2009. Unfortunately, that political program was crippled because of the division that Hamas made in 2007, which made two programs. One program in Gaza that is going after armed struggle and taking orders from Iran, while the Palestinian position, or the main position, is after a popular peaceful resistance. Because we know too well that Israel has the military power, has the alliance in the Western world where they could use these weapons of mass destruction against the Palestinians without any consequences. We are aware of this. Therefore, we need to adopt a much wiser, much smarter plan, because Israel is keen to go to the field of war. This is the field where it excels, but it is not. It's afraid and scared from the field of peaceful resistance and the political work, because they have no basis in that field. They have no legitimacy, they have no morality, and there they would lose. So we want to be patient and steadfast in leading our struggle in the international arena, international court, and global political momentum to bring the two-state solution forward.
Mr. Fattouh, there is growing discussion about Marwan Barghouti being a potential unifying Palestinian leader. Does Fatah see Barghouti as someone who could help maybe bridge political divisions and unite Palestinians under one leadership?
Mr. Marwan Barghouti is a prominent Palestinian leader, and he is as a member of the Central Committee of Fatah, which is the highest leader body of the Fatah movement. He is widely respected, and we call for his freedom from the Israeli imprisonment that is illegal, inhumane. He's suffering immensely from torture, solitary confinement. These all are illegal practices against a man who is actually calling for peace and the two-state solution. Of course, Fatah would work and would do everything possible to liberate him. And regarding for the presidency, that is a matter for the future that Fatah would decide who is going to be its candidate for presidency. That is determined through Fatah Congress and the Fatah decisions of the Central Committee and the Revolutionary Council, which is the legislative body of the Fatah movement. They would decide later on. But right now, the first and most important part is to liberate Marwan al-Barghouti and to hold Israel accountable for its bad treatment and ill treatment of Palestinian prisoners. You are all full aware of the rape cases, the torture cases, and there have been more than 80 deaths inside Israeli prisons since October 7. That is a catastrophe that our Palestinian political prisoners are suffering. So we are rallying around the world, rallying the conscience of humanity, human rights organization to liberate our political Palestinian prisoners, and on top of them is Mr. Marwan al-Barghouti.
Mr. Ahmed Fattouh, spokesperson for Fatah movement, thank you so much for being with us.